Alright, was this video supposed to come out last week? Yes. How many times did I fall off a cliff trying to build the Alchemist house? I'm not going to answer that. But anyway, so today I'm just going to show you guys the latest addition to Embervale. I don't know if that's the name of the village that we're settling on, but I am not creative when it comes to names. With everything, like, there's also a statue that we're going to show later. There's the tailor's house. So there's a lot that has been happening, which is maybe also the reason why this video is so late. But we're going to start off with the Alchemist house. So yes, the square got an upgrade with a statue, because of course, statues. This house was interesting to build. Also, it's not really a house, it's a mansion. Yeah, I just decided like, oh yeah, let's give him a mansion. I want spires, I want towers. Also, the reason why I fell off the cliff, it's a whole artificial island. Again, maybe this is the reason why this video was a little bit late. But yeah, so there's two spires on the right side and there's just extensions galore on the left. I do want to show the back side of the building, but then I'm basically traumatized from the amount of times that I fell trying to build this house. Now, the one thing that I decided was just like, yeah, if I could do this all over again, this is what I would change. Is those are supposed to be spires. They don't really feel as round as I want, which is because they're mostly too close together. And the flat areas, I bumped them out with pillars and such, but yeah, they should just be like, the flat areas should be smaller, or it should just be a bigger circle. Also, statue, but that's going to go for later. Because first, main subject of the video is the Alchemist house. And the whole personality for the Alchemist or for Balthazar, because hey, for once, Poison remembers a name, which is not that frequent. It's pretty much a miracle. But first of all, when it comes to the Alchemist, of course, he has the most books, as you can already see from the entrance. It's also just the probably most grandest entrance, because I wanted it to be like open here. I don't know how you call this, but I just wanted it to show just how grand of a house it is. Like, you survive the Shroud, and then you come up in here, and I'm like, I think he has a better life now than he had before the Shroud. Yes, his whole family and the entire civilization probably collapsed. But now you have a manor. Of course, so many books. This house was only possible after the latest patch, in which all of the books became like 5 books instead of 80. Like, first you had to collect pretty much every individual page, and now it's just like, yeah, 5 books. Now you're collecting chapters. But the entire personality that I had for him was just like, I want him to be like sane, but kind of crazy at the same time. I basically wanted to give him like really bad ADHD. Because I want him to be like going to bed and then suddenly an idea pops into his head and he just like races towards his library. And like, if he picks up a book, yeah, I mean, we should probably just get to his library. I like the ceiling. That was also a nightmare to build. But when he like grabs up a book, like here, like he tries to grab a book from like the top shelf, I just like the idea that like he doesn't really like, he is so single-minded then when he has like an idea that he like doesn't notice that like 2 other books fell when he grabbed that one book. Or if he's here, he is like reading something and he comes across something, wants to like try something out because he has like ideas flowing through his head then, and just forgets to pick the book up. I like to make it actually a thing throughout the village that there's just random books everywhere. So that's like, oh yeah, Balthazar was here because there's a book here that he just completely forgot. There is actually already a book in the square. Like, I just want to make that a thing. Also here you can kinda see, yeah, the walls are 3 blocks thick. So then we have the paneling, we have the backsplash, and then we have the outside walls. And also, I'm going to link the video in the description if editing Poison has even somewhat of a semblance of a brain left, although that brain has been terribly destroyed by McDonald's chicken nuggets. But yeah, I saw a video on how to make basically potted plants. They aren't perfect because, as you can see, there's dirt sticking out, but it's as close to potted plants as you can get, which I still want potted plants. I just want a lot more like interior decorational stuff, because now it's paintings and books. But another part of his personality, for which we need to go downstairs, again, I really just like kudos to that video and the guy who posted it of just like how to make these plants work. They are a little bit big, or at least this one is a little bit big. Also, yes, he has a seating room. Why? Because Balthazar's a fancy bitch. Balthazar would probably drink wine. Gimli, because I forget the carpenter's name constantly. And Oswald probably just goes straight for the vodka. Actually, no, the huntress does that. Gimli and Oswald just go for the beer. But anyways, another thing of Balthazar's personality that I wanted to show through the kitchen is just like, yeah, it's kind of empty. There's a bit of like decorational, just like dishware and such, but I like the idea that like he makes all of these like alchemical potions and such, but he can't cook a fried egg. Like if you give him a bowl and a pan, he just doesn't know what to do with it. I like that idea. I like for Balthazar to be just like very smart in one area, but if you take him to a kitchen, he's more likely to give you food poisoning than an actual food. Like his biggest nightmare is trying to bake a cake. So this kitchen is just like, yeah, it's mostly decorational. I would just imagine him like eating oats or something like every day. But then I don't think he cares. I also, for the longest time, thought that he was sort of shirtless. Only realized later on, like, oh yeah, he is actually wearing a shirt. But it's like so close to his actual skin color that I was just like, alright. But anyways, also some paintings. I already showed the library. But yeah, I like the idea that it's just kind of ransacked. It's just like, yeah, he had an idea and just ran this way to his laboratory. Again, the plans. I need to like, if editing Poison is any sort of capable, there's going to be a link in the description. And yes, at least he's cross-referencing stuff. Like he saw something in this book, then knew that there was something about it in that book, so he's like cross-referencing stuff of like, you know, kind of checking out his ideas. Like he is not the kind of alchemist that's like going to like try and create something off of one idea and then have his laboratory explode. That's not the kind of alchemist that he is. And in his bedroom, where it's just like, probably is just staring out at the sunset. You can't really see the shroud through here. You can see, well, if you squint, because the lighting through windows is really bright, you can see the spire, the Revelwood spire. And yeah, I just imagine him just sitting in bed, suddenly an idea pops into his head, and he just books it down here. But that's pretty much the entire interior of the Alchemist's Mansion. Yes, there's another empty room here. This should probably be his dining room, but then Balthazar doesn't cook, so he doesn't use this. So he's like not bothered to unpack it because he's just like, I tried to make a little market stall. Now I can make a market stall with books. So I'm very happy with that. That tree is pretty much just completely swallowed by the building, but I kind of like the leaves still sticking out. Now this is not going to be the huntress like main house. So now we're moving on to the extra bits because we're moving on to the tailor's house. But I was kind of like, the huntress was the only one left in the original village. So it's just like, yeah, I am lazy. I don't want to constantly teleport over to the main village just because I want the carpet. So I just got her here. She's going to get a house of her own eventually. But right now she just, you know, lives here for a bit. Which is just all of the tailoring stuff. Or weaving stuff. So I have the loom, the spinning wheel, because figured out that that actually needs less resources. So this is where the huntress now temporarily lives. So it doesn't really have a personality because I don't associate this really with the huntress yet. And because of that, I don't really have a personality for this building figured out yet. But anyways, that's pretty much the huntress, well, Taylor's place. This is pretty much my sort of trial for trying to use like the 3 block thick walls. So as you can see, the stone walls or like the timber frame walls on the outside, but then have like this backsplash and the paneling on the inside. It makes it feel a little bit more warm inside because the backsplash is a little bit more beige colored. And also it just really sets apart the interior from the exterior. And it just creates a lot of dimension, which is pretty much my stop word. Like anything I say in Enshrouded, you can pretty much sum up with like, yeah, dimension. Makes it more dynamic. Dimension. Statue, which is the second extra bit. Now, I'm going to, again, if editing Poison is anywhere near capable or as anywhere near a semblance of a brain, I'm going to put the reference image that I used for the statue. Now, I have never built a statue, so it's a little bit of like, yeah, if you squint, you can see the sort of knight figure that I was going for. It's really only visible because I used different blocks to separate the sword from the shield and the actual knight. But I like the idea that, well, it could be our character, but also it could just be like a knight that led all of these people to this hill. And so he's become like kind of a revered, like sort of savior figure, and so there's candles and such to him. Not really prayer, probably more just like remembrance. But I really like the statue. I like that it also is looking at the spire, and I think if you go straight, like you see that little blocky thing there, I think that is, what is it called? It's basically like the sanctum that you started Enshrouded in, I think. So I like that it's looking towards that as well, which was completely unintentional because I just built it here because it looked pretty here. I didn't build this because I actually thought, oh yeah, let's make it sort of tie in with the story of Enshrouded. It was just pretty. It's really good that it works out, that it sort of looks towards that area. And also that you can just like almost see, I think, every spire from here. Like, I think that's the Kindle Waste spot. No, yeah, there's a, well, Nomad Spire, Kindle Waste Spire, I think. Springwoods, Revelwoods, and then, like, you can see, I think, all of the spires from here. And now I am thinking of building, like, a small chapel maybe here, but here's the thing, when it comes to, like, any future builds, so now we're moving on to that segment. Anything after this, I really like how the light falls in, but then I want my mansion, like, because I'm an egotistical bastard, of course I'm going to have my own mansion in this village. But I want it to be there, but that's going to block the light to the square. So I'm going to like try and figure out like how can I do that. And then I want maybe like a chapel, maybe here or somewhere else. Like I want to also just build buildings that aren't really tied to the characters that we have. Anyways, that's pretty much it. We're just going to go to the top here to end of the video. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more. Also, I'm probably going to release the speed build of this Alchemist a few days after this tour goes up. So if you want to see that, wait a few days, it's probably going to be up then. And all the more reason then to subscribe. Also, there's a membership which gives you emotes because I like to draw emotes. And I want to just close off with the sun setting and my love letter to Enshrouded to please make it so that I can plant these red trees. Anyways, have a wonderful day, guys. Bye bye.